Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Batman. Tonight's episode is brought to you by TotallyTabby, who graciously bought me a standalone mixer, something I've been missing for a long period of time. Do you know what I can use my forearm muscles for instead of mixing now? Great things, I'll tell you. Great things. Now, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Batman, the yummy gingerbread cookie. Now, as usual, whenever we're working with our hands, we have to do a little bit of cleanup here. So, we're gonna head over to our sink, and oh, look at that. I've pre-warmed the water. Everything's good to go. Put some soap on there. There we go. One hand washes the other. Make sure to get in between your fingers too. That's where all the grime and dirt builds up. There we go. Uh-oh, we're good. So, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take half a cup of packed brown sugar and we're gonna put it into a bowl. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take some Jello butterscotch pudding, a full package, that's 4 servings by the way, and we're going to pour it into the bowl. Next up, we have half a cup of margarine. Now you can use butter instead of margarine, but you're gonna get a harder cookie. So do it Batman's way and you use the margarine. There we go. There. Get all that right in there. There. This is the start of it, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do now, set this on your mixing stand, low speed, and lower it down. All right. There we go. Low speed or you're gonna get fluff everywhere. Now there's a little bit of fluff coming up for me right now, but it's not terrible. There. So while that's mixing, we're gonna add our other ingredients. 1.5 cups of flour. Okay? This part's very important. What I've done is I've substituted my baking soda for baking powder because I like things fluffy. So all you have to do is triple it. So I'm using 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm using 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. All these dry ingredients going in here. And then we can turn this off. There, that's all right. And we're going to have to add in some new wet ingredients. Now, as with all my baking recipes, like I said, vanilla and nutmeg are musts. So we're going to take our vanilla extract, just a dab in there. You know, more is better, but it's up to you. Just saying. Crack an egg. Put the egg in. There we go. You might want to rinse off your hands. You don't have to have them wash each other this time because it's just a quick rinse. And once again, we're going to go over here and we're just going to turn on the mixer for just a little while and use our spatula to get anything off the sides. Oh yeah. That's mixing away. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Very, very creamy too. Lift this up, low speed. Nothing goes to waste. Up it goes. So we've now got this creamy, molasses-free gingerbread recipe, and yet it still has the color of gingerbread. Remember, the 2 things you need to make something into gingerbread is ground ginger and flour. So therefore, this is gingerbread, regardless of what anyone's saying, because there's no molasses. So we've got our dry ingredients. In they go. It should pour out without any problem at all because they're dry ingredients. And before you put it under your mixer, you're gonna just wanna squish it in. This keeps it from poofing back up into your face again. There we go. Just moisten it a little bit. Everything's moist. It's pushed down a little bit. Back under the mixer. Lower it down. Turn it on low. And off it goes, doing its own thing again. Just scrape off this spatula. Anything that sticks to the side needs to be dealt with. There we go. Oh no. That is my fault for not locking it on properly. And don't get your fingers in there unless you know what you're doing. There we go. Well, actually it's mixed quite good. So, yeah. Let's just get, there we go. Oh, this looks lovely. So what we're left with here is well-mixed gingerbread. You'd think that we'd be ready to roll it, but actually we're not. The reason we're not going to roll the gingerbread right now is because the consistency is not going to be right until we refrigerate it. If we try to roll out our gingerbread right now, we're gonna ruin the recipe. It's gonna stick to things. It's not gonna be malleable enough. It's gonna try to come back together. All sorts of things. So we want it to sit. The best thing to do to make it sit is going to be this. Take it just like this. Grab your wax paper. Put it out. Put it down, and we're just gonna mush this all into a nice little gingerbread ball. Okay, so we've got our little ball of ginger here. And we're gonna put this into the fridge for about 1 hour. Now, here's an important thing to remember. At around the 45-minute mark, 50-minute mark, well, you know, depending on the speed of your oven, you're going to want to preset your oven to 350 degrees so that everything's ready to go as you're rolling it and start cutting out the shapes. We'll get to that in just about 1 hour. I'll see you soon. Welcome back. Has your gingerbread been cooling for about 1 hour? Mine's been cooling for several hours. No matter. Should all be the same. The main thing is that we get it nice and cool, it's rested, and now it's going to be easier to form. Now there are two ways to do this. You can either use wax paper, like I'm going to use, because I like to keep things moist, or you can just use lots of flour. You can flour up your rolling surface and get rolling. Speaking of rolling, this rolling pin, I guess you could call it a gift from Harley Quinn, but maybe not really. She beat me over the head with it and ran away. Anyway, she left me a rolling pin. So, between 2 sheets of wax paper, we're going to take our gingerbread. First, we're just going to mush it out a little bit. Let me go like this. Now this is going to keep it from sticking and also keep it from drying out. And you just want to, don't go too hard. You go too hard, things are going to go wrong. Okay, go this way. I obviously have to make it long ways, otherwise it'll go off of the wax paper. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm just looking not to get the whole thing, but to get a good chunk of it just flattened out to the level that I want. What you're looking for is about 1/4 of an inch, or 3/4 of a centimeter thick. Nice and thin, easy does it. Oh, that's thin enough on that side. There we go. Alright. gonna be so delicious. Just wait till you try my gingerbread cookie recipe. Okay. Phase 1. So the side facing you is just thin enough that we can start making our gingerbread men. Or if you're famous like myself, you can make your little bat symbol men, like I'm going to do. So, right up against the edge here, as 1. I just want you to keep in mind that when you're making these, the smaller the design that you use, the less time you're going to want to cook. So let's go ahead and set our ovens for 350 degrees, okay? 350 degrees for this size, my little bats here. They're only gonna need about 8, maybe 7 minutes in the oven. And we'll place that on the sheet. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we're gonna do this a few times here. There's 1. Very, very tender dough. So we want to be nice and careful. 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 There's another bat. There. And we'll take another. Are you starting to follow along? Do you understand what I'm doing? I'm cutting out little bat shapes from my dough. I'm cutting away the parts that don't look like a bat. I've ruined that bat. So it goes over there. There we go. Oh, this is going to be a good bat. Yes. There we are. We can probably get just a few more out of this before we have to re-roll our dough. Like I said, I didn't make it all the right size, just some of it. There we have it. Making our little batties. And the dough is just starting to get too thick on this side that we're gonna have to re-roll it. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna finish rolling this dough and re-rolling the dough until I filled up this sheet. And then we'll jump over to me putting them into the oven. Well done. That is our last little bat on the tray, and our oven is preheated. So, these bats, I say 7 or 8 minutes, but you know what? It could be 9, it could be 10. You've got to use your mind a little bit here. Watch them. When it starts to go just a little bit browner along the edges, they're done. So, let's pop them in. I'll see you in 5 to 15 minutes, I guess. Aha! They're ready! I've been watching them all this time because I'm that kind of a baker. The kind of baker that looks and checks to make sure that everything's perfect. And you can smell them too. They smell so good. Now, one of the most important things that we can do right now is get them off of this pan, because this pan is still continuing to cook them even though I've already removed them from the oven. Have to hold on to the pan like this. There's 1. I'll just keep on removing these. They can sort things out on their own. And just like other things that you may cook, such as bacon, it will continue to crisp after you've removed it. So they may be soft now, but they'll get nice and hard. If you cook them until they're hard, what you're gonna end up with is some very crunchy gingerbread. Now, I'm gonna tell you once again, if you do that, you're doing it wrong. Come on, little bat. There we go. There we go. Our bats are now ready for some decorating. Now the best time to decorate them is right away. So I've got some Smarties here. And we're just going to put some Smarties and just push them in. There's a yellow one there. And one there. And there. And there. And then we're going to take some of this this yellow goop and oh, I've broken the seal on that one. Deal with that later. Okay, so we got our purple goop. Oh yes, this is gonna be Batgirls. Look at that purple gooped bat. That's good. And that one can be purple on the bottom. This one can be purple in the middle. So we get a purple wing. And this one says I only want a little bit of purple. This one doesn't even like purple, but this one says I want to be purple all over my body. Just like that. I want to be purple. And this one says, you know what? If that guy's gonna be purple, I'm gonna come out of the closet and I'm gonna be purple too. Oh yes. And these two are so close to each other that they put everything together like that. See? You put your Smarties there, and then we made a little bat sandwich out of those two. Yeah, that's getting me hot. We'll just have to stop that. This guy over here is purple because he's a wallflower, and that's it for those. And then come on, yellow. Now, this one says, color me yellow. And that one I'll take a dot. That one says I want to be yellow on the top along with my purple. Little there. That one says poke me like the Pillsbury Doughboy with the yellow. And this one says I like being a little bit yellow. This one says just put it on my Smarties. And this one says put it everywhere except for my Smarties. Like that. This one says just get my edges. So I have to be really careful. Like that. Oh yeah. Oh, like the edges. This one says don't get my edges. See, every bat is a little bit different. People think that bats are all the same, but they're not. And this one doesn't want any frosting at all. So what we do is we take the yellow frosting and we put it onto the Smartie, and then we trick it. We put the Smarties on like that. Then we give him lots. There we go. So he likes the Smarties. Yeah. There we go. And that one right there with the big gob, he says, you know what? I don't want to be yellow anymore. Yeah. We're going to mix purple and yellow and whatever that makes. Looks kind of blue. So there's batch number 1. At this point, we're going to have you just take a look at a picture that I've taken. Good, you've seen the picture. That's excellent. And all we're going to do at this point is we're going to take our remaining dough, we're going to roll it, we're going to bake it and do it all over again, and then we're going to serve these to our friends. If you have any friends. Maybe some people pretend to be your friend. You can serve it to those people. Anyways, guys, this has been another episode of Cooking with Batman. Although it was baking and not cooking. Enjoy!